What I did today in homeschool with my daughter. So we started with our daily calendar like we do every day. She uses her sentences to tell me each one for the date, season, and weather and how she feels. Then our daily work binder. We start off every day ordering days of the week and months of the year. I try to have her afterwards tell me to point what day is it today, and she'll point, or what month are we in, and she'll point. And as she's ordering them, she follows along to a video I play on YouTube. Then for the math worksheet, we're working on counting up to 6 right now. Next week we'll move on to 7. So after she fills in the sheet, writing, tracing, filling in, and reading the number 6. Then there's a 10 frame here, whatever I have on hand that day. So today we used her squishy animals for one of our theme activities. So I just told her, show me 6 animals, and she'll count 6 onto the 10 frame. Then for our language worksheet, so again, this is from the Spectrum series spelling workbooks, and they're double-sided, so we do 2 sides a day. So on this side, she practiced writing upper and lowercase L. On this side, upper and lowercase t. And then there's a little activity for each one. So like for L, she had to follow all the L's in the maze to get baby sheep to mama sheep. And then for T, she had to circle all the T's in the words. And we talked about the sound each one makes and what words start with T. Okay, so that was our daily work for today. Then we did some math review. So one of the things we did for reviewing in math was we worked on more or less. I printed out these task cards that I found on Teachers Pay Teachers, and I laminated them so that they're dry erase and wipeable. And so I will put one in front of her at a time, and I'll say, Layla, show me the pile that has less blocks, and she'll circle less. And then I'll put this one in front of her, show me the pile with more blocks, and she circled more. I'll change these up. This was our first day using these, so I did one of each. Sometimes I might do only a couple of less or only a couple of more. Sometimes I might do 2 of more and 1 of less, or vice versa. So I'm going to change up how I use these each time. And there's a whole bunch of them, and the pictures all look different. Another way we'll use more and less, if not tomorrow, then next week, is using concrete objects or manipulatives. So right now we're working on animals and habitats. So just to incorporate it into our theme, I'll give her a number. I'll say, Layla, show me, for example, 4 animals. Okay, so she'll show me 4. And then I'll say, can you show me 2 animals? Or I could make it a little more challenging and say, show me 5 or 6, and then show me 2. And then I'll ask her, I have cards that say more or less on them. And then I'll hand her the card that says more, and I'll tell her, show me which group has more animals. And she'll put the more card here and the less card there. And that's a way we can incorporate it into our theme. But also I try to change it up how I do each goal, how I work on each skill. So for example, sometimes we'll do more or less like this using task cards, or on paper, a worksheet where she has to circle which one has more or less. And sometimes she might have to actually show me herself using objects more or less. And this is just because I don't want her to get used to doing it one particular way. I don't want her to be rigid in how we do a specific goal, a specific skill. So I try to change it up as much as I can for her. Another review activity we did for math was ABB patterns. She struggled with this last week, so we just reviewed it this week. So 1 red, 2 blue. 1 red, 2 blue. What comes after red? And she had to put, and she put the 2 blue. We might do it again one more time next week so I can see how she does. And when I see she's like 100% comfortable doing it without prompting, then we'll move to the next pattern sequence. Then for, we also did another review activity with pronouns. So we worked on pronouns already before. She knows the pronouns. She knows he, she, they, and it, but we hadn't done it in a while, so I just wanted to review to make sure, you know, she doesn't forget it. So what I do is I give her this pile. I just hand it right to her, and she has to sort them for me like this. So she'll sort it into separate piles, just like this. Then I hand her the cards with the label on it. So I'll say to her, Layla, can you show me where she is? So she'll match it to she. And then I'll say, yeah, she is a lady. She is a girl. And then same thing with he. Can you show me where he is? She'll match it. And I'll say, he is a man. He is a boy. Can you show me it? And then she'll match it. And usually I'll actually have 2 different types of it. So like I'll have an animal like today, the dog, and then maybe I'll have like a balloon or a cake or something. And then she'll know that both are examples of it. So animals are it, and then actual objects. And then I told her, can you show me where they are? And she'll match it, and I'll say they are people. In the beginning, when we first started doing this, I had her tell me herself in sentences on her iPad. I still try to. It kind of depends on, you know, what mood she's in and how much I can get out of her. But she'll go here to her people folder. And if you scroll down, I already have is, at, and they are, and people, just to make it easier for her to find. So then, let's say, for example, I give her this card and I say, oh, Layla, who is it? And then she'll go here to her people folder and she'll say,
he is a boy. He is a boy.
He is a boy, okay? And then same thing, I'll show her this one and I'll say, who is he? Or sorry, who is this? And then she'll say,
he is a
there.
Man. He is a man.
Yeah, he is a man. And sorry, when I ask her, I try not to say who is he, I say who is it. So then she has to tell me he. And then I'll do the same thing. I'll give her each one and she'll have to tell me, just like she did here, she is a girl, she is a lady. And then with they, so same thing, she'll go here and she'll say, she'll scroll down and she'll say,
they are people. They are people.
They are people. And then with it, it's a little bit different with it, because what she'll have to do, she goes here to her sight words folder and she'll say,
it is a.
So for example, today it was a picture of a dog. So then she'll say,
dog. It is a dog.
It is a dog. And if there was something else, she would do the same and say, it is a balloon, it is a kite, or whatever it is, okay? So that's how we did pronouns. And she, even after all this time not doing it for a while, she still did really good with it. Another thing we did for math, we did addition again today. In my last video, last week, we did addition with pizza spill. Today, I brought out the addition mat. I just printed it online and laminated it. And then what I do with this one is I incorporate it into whatever theme we're doing. So because we're doing animals and habitats, we used her little squishy animals, and we used it for adding animals today. So what I do is I put a dice inside a plastic cup. She shakes and she rolls. Okay, so 4. So I'll have her write the number 4 on the first circle here. And then I'll say, can you show me 4 animals? And then here on the 10 frame, she will have to show me 4 animals, because that's the theme we're doing right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's 4 animals. Then again, we'll put the dice back in the cup. She'll shake it and toss it again. And now she got 6. Can you show me 6 animals? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then so she's got so then she'll have written 6 in this circle. So then I'll say, how many animals all together? And I always do the motion with my hand so she knows we're counting all together. And then she'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then she'll write 10 here. Okay. And then we go over it. So I'll say 4 plus 6 is, and then she'll say 10. Okay. And we go over it like that. And we did this twice. We do it like 2 times. And she's pretty good with this now. And that's also good with helping her counting practice. And I change up what we add with based on our theme. So this month we're doing animals and habitats, so I used her squishy animals. Next month when we do Easter and spring, I found these little foam Easter eggs at the dollar store. We'll use the Easter eggs for adding. When we did our Valentine's Day theme last month in Community Helpers, I used heart gemstones. So whatever our theme is, that's what we use for addition to show on the 10th grade. Okay, so that was math. For our themed activity, today I introduced her to animals that fly. So we've already done zoo animals, farm animals, we've done ocean animals, pets, and today I introduced her to animals that fly. I printed out this backdrop of like a sky. I'd like it to be bigger, but this is as big as I could get it. Then I laid out these cards for her just like this. So most of them are animals that fly, but I put in a few that don't fly just to kind of trick her a little bit. So I said to her, Layla, can you show me which animals fly? And then she'll start and she'll take the animal. The first one, it was a bat, right? So she'll put it here on the, and then she'll go over, sorry, let me just grab her iPad, because what I do is as she picks up each animal, she has to tell me in a sentence which animal can fly. So she goes here to her animals folder. I have here a flying animals folder within the animals folder. So she'll say, so the first one was a bat, so she'll say,
bat can fly. Bat can fly.
Can fly. So then we go to the next one. It is a ladybug. So same thing, she'll say,
ladybug can fly. Ladybug can fly.
Ladybug can fly, okay? And then she'll go through all of them like that. And let's say she picks up an animal that doesn't fly, like the monkey. I'll say, oh, Layla, can a monkey fly? And then she'll just have to tell me yes or no. And of course, she'll say no, and we'll just put it aside. So it doesn't fly, right? So same thing I have here, sheep, dog, cat. So, and then whenever she'd pick each one up, I would ask her, can the sheep fly? Can the dog fly? And she would have to say no, and we put them aside. And she would continue to sort only the animals that do fly, and she would tell me each one in a sentence. When she was done, I asked her, Layla, what do all these animals have that can help them fly? So then we go here to animal features, and she told me,
wings.
Sorry, she would say,
it has wings. It has wings.
And she would tell me in a sentence. I said, yeah, they all have wings to help them fly. Okay, and so that's how we worked on the flying animals today for our theme activity. Then the last thing we did, like every day, we end our homeschool session with our writing, sentence writing. And again, we're using this sight word activity book. The word today was by. And so like usual, she traces the word, writes the word. I also have her type it out for me on her iPad. Then we read the sentence together. She has to point along and she fills in the blank with the word. Find all the word by in the chart here. And then here she has to write her own sentence and draw a picture. So I always have it written for her myself ahead of time, but I always make it relatable to her. So I'll say, Layla, can you write by yourself? And then she'll say yes. And I'll say, okay, let's write that. I can write all by myself. And then she'll copy it. When she's done copying the sentence, then I tell her, can you circle the word by in my sentence? And then she circles the word by. And then I have her draw a picture. She drew, this is a pencil and this is paper with writing on it. Okay, and she knows that that means it's the end of homeschool.